All right, Jeff Simon here at AirVenture. I am here with Kevin LaRosa, who is aerial stunt coordinator, stunt pilot. You wear a lot of hats in some amazing movies. Really, the top guy in the industry right now, and using the word Top Gun being the most recent movie. You've done Avengers, you've got Devotion coming out. Tell me a little bit about how did you get involved in this, and what is it like in such a unique and amazing position?
Jeff, thanks for the intro and thanks for having me on. So as an aerial coordinator, motion picture pilot, I fly aircraft that we see on camera, and I also fly the camera. How to get my start? It's interesting, but aviation kind of runs in our blood. I'm a third generation pilot. My grandfather flew. My dad is a very well-known Hollywood stunt pilot and aerial coordinator. So I grew up in this industry. I've had the bug, the aviation bug, and the filmmaking bug since I've been a little kid.
Wow.
And it's all I've ever wanted to do. And they say the path to success or where you want to be is not a straight line. I feel like my life is a good representation of that. I mean, I had to stop the type of flying I wanted to do to go out and learn how to be an aviator, go be my own pilot, get my own hours. So I did charter flying and medical flying and traffic watch and news helicopters, did all these incredible aviation jobs to finally get to a point where I had enough hours and experience to do what I really loved. So my path and my journey is definitely zigzags, but that's how I got my start, it's how I got the love for it, and that's how I did it, and that's what I do today.
I have a lot of respect for that, because you started out in one level. You started out, of course, with your dad and that amazing thing, and basically growing up with a P-51 Mustang and that world of stuff. But at the same time, aviation is about accomplishment, and it's about being qualified and having those skills, and you had to go blaze that trail for yourself.
My dad gave me great advice when I was 17. I was working on a Marvel movie with him, and not in a pilot capacity, more of support at that time. And he said, you know what, bud, if you ever want to do this type of flying, you need to go be your own pilot. You need to leave the industry. And when you're 17, you think you know it all. It's not what you want to do, but he's my dad. I love him. He's my idol. So I followed his advice. I'm so glad I did, because it was the right path for me. And I can't stress that enough to anybody in any industry, really. You put in the work and the hard effort and do all the things right, even if it doesn't exactly align with where you want to be in the future, you'll get there.
Wow. Now, of course, the talk of the time, so many people are going to see Top Gun right now. Tell me a little bit about what was involved in that production, what it was like to be part of that.
So, as an aviator, I grew up with Top Gun, the first movie, the original. I was born the same year the movie came out. I've seen the movie hundreds of times. It's an iconic, historic aviation movie that we all love, and at least people that I know, we know every line in that movie. When I knew this movie was going to be made, we kind of went to work trying to develop new technology, one of them being the Cinejet, which is a camera jet platform that we put together so we can do these high action, aerial dogfights and such. Getting to work on Top Gun Maverick is a pinnacle movie. We had to pinch ourselves every single day, and I speak on behalf of the other cast and crew members. The movie just felt special. We knew it was going to be huge. It's a goosebump movie. It's a movie that your hair stands up on the back of your neck when we're on the flight line and the F-18s are warming up. It was that huge even working on it. We knew it was going to be special. And Tom told us in the beginning, he gave us a great speech and just said, listen, we're a bit at a disadvantage, right? We're making a sequel to an amazing movie, and we need to reach a level of cinematic perfection that we've never obtained before. And I feel like we were able to do that, mainly led by our incredible director, Joseph Kosinski. He took us there. And with the help of Tom and that leadership, I feel like the cast and crew was behind him and helping to make that.
Wow. Well, one of the things I want to compliment you on when it comes to Top Gun is, as pilots, it's very hard for us to go to a movie that involves aviation and have that suspension of disbelief that's just required to immerse yourself in a film and not just constantly be brought out of it by some unrealistic things. And the work that you did on the aerial side of it and the realism is a testament to walking that line of being able to have things that are spectacular as needed by a movie, and yet have a level of realism that doesn't take us out of the theater. And you really did a great job on that.
Well, thank you, but I got to give credit to the entire team. I mean, it does take a village. I'm lucky enough to be out there and flying and putting those sequences together, but I really can't do that without my second, the aerial DP, who's the brave soul who operates the camera, who sits behind me in an ejection seat in the L-39 or the helicopter. We can't do it without our crew chiefs. We can't do it without our ADs or our military, our Navy liaisons. There's such a village, a city of people that are behind everybody in that movie to make it what it is, every single sequence. And I love what you said about realism. I can't stress enough to everybody that's listening or going to see this, such a huge effort was put into making sure that we did minimal CGI and that everything is in lens, even in aircraft that didn't exist. I know we have aviators watching this, so we saw F-14s, we saw Su-57s. Those aren't readily available in the US. We had a rule in Top Gun Maverick: we could never shoot blank sky. We always had to have an aircraft in lens. So when we see an Su-57 or an F-14, know that there's an F-18 there flown by a naval aviator, or an L-39 stand-in or something, and that gives us real vapor, it gives us real flight dynamics, control surface movement, and then they simply reskin it to be the aircraft that it needs to be. It's an expensive way to do it, but it's the right way to do it. And I got to say thank you to Tom, Joe, and Paramount for that.
That makes a lot of sense. And you have another movie about to come out, Devotion?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Directed by J.D. Dillard. His dad's actually an ex-Blue Angel. This is another iconic aviation movie. It's based off of a true story, true events that happened in the Korean War. And there's a beautiful book written by Adam Makos, who does an incredible job telling this story. I recommend you read. But the movie is a period movie. So we took our Top Gun, real flying, real stunts, practical aviation, and we moved it into a period movie, which meant that we had Corsairs and Sky Raiders, MiG-15s, and that was really exciting. And then we had to operate these aircraft that came from, the best of the best warbird guys in the business and these great museums. We had to bring them to the cold, into the snow, and operate them in kind of the same environment they were operating in the Korean War.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, a modern day movie and making something a true story from the Korean War, it was no easy task for us with new technology operating these aircraft, these vintage aircraft in those conditions.
Wow.
True testament to the amazing heroes that did that in real life, the people that made the ultimate sacrifice. I can't recommend Devotion enough. I think it's a beautiful film, and there's lots of real flying in it.
Excellent. And when is that coming out?
I think it's Thanksgiving this year.
Thanksgiving this year, Devotion coming out. So tough question always. If you had to pick one, is there any aircraft that's closest to your heart?
P-51 Mustang. You had mentioned it. My dad owned one for about 7 years. I feel like I was at an age, I was a young teenager at that time, and that was our weekend airplane. We'd go to get a burger in it. We'd go fly it all the time. So I'm a little jaded, and I didn't understand what I had then. We don't have it anymore. But now I look at a Mustang and I go, I can't believe that I used to fly in that thing, and that was our little weekend airplane. It's not really fair. I wish I understood what I was flying in when I was that young.
Well, we all have those kind of stories of youth and not realizing what the time really meant. But still, you get to fly some amazing aircraft. I like that you said that. Of course, we're building a T-51 scale replica in our house, and hopefully get that airborne, get to experience a little bit of that.
That's incredible. I'd love to see it.
So thank you so much, and thanks of course to Bose. We love flying with Bose, and we know that you do too. They make this possible.
Absolutely. It's everything I do for a living is kind of communication as an aerial coordinator. Been wearing them for a number of years, and I can't imagine doing my job without them. But communication's kind of key for what I do for a living.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
At AirVenture 2022, I'm Jeff Simon. Blue skies.